All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. I'm at Richard, both on the forum, and if you see me on the street, say, "Hey, Richard."
I'm Shannon. I'm at Chicago on the MakeCode forums.
And I'm Daryl at Daryl on the MakeCode forum. Sorry, I got the introduction order mixed up.
And I'm Vivian. I'm last in the alphabet at LiveTube on the forums.
Gotcha. All right, someone go to the whiteboard that says days since we messed up the intro, and to erase it and put a 0. We had a pretty good run there, though, I think.
We did. I messed it up. That's my fault.
All right. So, hey guys, what's special about today's stream?
It's the 50th stream.
Yeah.
That's so many streams.
It's a lot of streams.
50th edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream, or at least since we started numbering, or like we probably messed it up, so it's probably not like the actual 50th, but
I think we started numbering from 1, or like we back.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like there were a few like lost streams though.
Probably.
Definitely, someone should do some investigation and figure out what really happened.
We can celebrate multiple times then. Every day
The
is
50th stream somewhere.
So we were thinking about doing a game today that involved 50 sprites to sort of celebrate the 50th stream. And so we had a couple ideas we were throwing around before the stream. One idea was another, what is it called? It's not KonMari, it's
Katamari.
Katamari. A game where you go around and pick up things smaller than you, and you grow and grow and grow. You guys might remember the Kelpnado game that was something like this, except that it didn't actually have a mechanic of you had to be bigger than the thing in order to pick it up. Or we were thinking of one where you just go around and like meet friends, kind of like in the last stream. So what do you guys think? What should we do? What direction?
Well, maybe we should decide on what we want our 50 sprites to be, and then we can go from there. And so I was thinking about that we're doing the garden jam right now. And what if we had 50 sprites of various vegetables? So there would be like carrots and zucchinis and squash and stuff. And we'll just kind of randomly generate them from an array. I feel like those are, you can veto that, Daryl, but I feel like those aren't terribly hard to draw.
Yeah, I think they might all come out looking very similar with just different shades.
That's perfect though.
Yeah, so I like the idea of vegetables. Sorry, what did you say?
I said broccoli as a thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I like vegetables. What about, I think just a bunch of different garden things could work pretty well. So if we wanted to do a Katamari kind of game, we could start with vegetables and then maybe like wheelbarrows and like, garden hoe and things like that. And then maybe you get like a shed or something.
My only concern with that is that we would have to do some bigger pieces of art, which is kind of tricky to do. It's easier to do small sprites.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although, so I could do everything sort of stick figure-ish, just the outline of everything.
Here's an idea. What if we are harvesting our garden? So we just have rows of these different vegetables, and when we go to pick them, instead of picking them, they jump up out of the ground and follow behind you. And you get a little army of vegetable guys, kind of like Pikmin.
Yeah. Okay, I like that idea. Let's do that.
Fun fact, Pikmin, the guy who created it, Miyamoto, same guy who created Mario, he came up with the idea while gardening in his garden.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Yeah, they do always kind of look like vegetables to me. But yeah.
I think we should have like an adversary. I don't know if this is gonna mess up with our.
It should be a rabbit.
Yeah, that's.
The rabbits in my garden have been eating all my flowers, and they're my enemy, but they're so cute.
Nice. Okay. Yes.
That's my suggestion
that
for
works.
enemy.
A mechanic I want is like a train of followers. So this is going to be maybe a little tricky to implement, but I think kind of what I'd like is like each one to follow the last one and to have a little bit of spacing between them. And so I'd probably need to recalculate our favorite old thing, the sprite distance, in order to do this. But I think that would be kind of fun to see like a trail, and as you move it, it sort of moves. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to create some vegetables. So first, let's see, what is a player? I wonder.
It's a little stick figure with a straw hat.
I love it. Easy. Oh, stick figure of a cat? Yeah. I mean,
a cat
like
with a straw hat?
Yes.
The ears poking out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see if I can do this. Man, I'm a little rusty at drawing cats. I was pretty good when I was filming the cat jumper videos, but now it's been a while. So let's see. I always do black cats because, well, I like black cats.
I think that's an opinion that's shared with everyone on this call.
Let's see. Gotta have their eye. And then what's a good straw color? Orange, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, yeah.
Look at that. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is good.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I'm gonna go ahead and call this cat Jiji. We were just talking about a movie, Kiki's Delivery Service, and there's an awesome cat in there, and maybe this is the future life of this cat. Okay, let's move our cat Jiji with buttons, and yeah, there we go. All right, we've got a cat. I think the ear needs to be a little bit more prominent somehow. I don't quite know how to pull this off. Something like that. Yeah, it sort of pokes through. Maybe the whole hat should shift slightly this way or down.
I think back up.
Here?
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Perfect.
All right, we'll work with it. Okay, so now I'm going to create some vegetables. So to do that, I'm going to create an array, our good friend the array. Let's say these are veggies, and we're going to drop, extensions. We are going to drop some images in here. So I just go to the image category, drop in an image block. And okay, so broccoli, I remember. So let's do that. Okay, kind of. Well, this is everything's gonna look the same.
So you want to do dark green up top and then lighter green coming down for the stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like something. It's definitely a veggie. Maybe a little bit of brown from the dirt. These are fresh veggies. I think it gets whiter at the bottom. Okay, let's do another image. Let's see. Okay, carrots are hopefully easy.
Carrots are easy.
Theoretically.
Are carrots the only orange vegetable?
I don't know. Carrots were originally purple. They made them orange to please the, I think it was the Danish.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, look it up. Carrots used to be orange. Carrots used to be purple and white, but they have been selectively bred to be orange.
Sometimes you get the purple ones in the grocery store. It's like a bundle. multicolored.
Yeah.
That's a great carrot. Oh man.
Dude. Let's see. Something like cabbage would be so iconic, but I think it's just gonna end up looking like just a blob. I feel like it
I
sort
mean,
of
that's
needs
what
this
cabbage is.
layer approach.
Oh.
That's true.
Is this like a top-down cabbage?
I don't know. I think it was trying to be somewhat from the side. Okay, so it's either cabbage or a head of lettuce. I think both of those are basically work. Maybe
If
actually,
I picture a cabbage and I picture a head of lettuce, it looks exactly the same. So I don't.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. It could be there's some blue varieties of like. Actually, I don't know what that looks like.
That looks like an alien pod.
Okay, we're going back to some green here. Let's do that. Oh wait, no, I did it wrong color. Oops. Let's get rid of the blue. Okay, I need more colors.
Potatoes?
Maybe like.
We have
Oh yeah, perfect.
Feel free to suggest vegetables in the chat. We clearly only know like 3.
We got the important ones.
Our background color is sort of this brown, so I don't know if this is going to come out super well.
I think it's good.
I think I might do some
Like
shading.
as long as it's not on the edge, it should be fine.
Yeah. Like they are. Sometimes they have a little sprout.
Green potatoes are dangerous.
That's true. Well, yeah. I think it looks better with a little bit of green in it.
Yeah.
So it just kind of looks like a blob with something.
The suggestion we got is a red pepper.
A red pepper, yes. See if I can. Oops. Kind of like a weird looking heart.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going for a bell pepper?
Yeah, I guess I was. What does red pepper look like? Wait, no.
That's
Like a chili pepper.
Yeah. Oh, you're thinking like a spicy pepper.
Yeah, I think a bell pepper is also fine.
Yeah.
Chat is way better at coming up with interesting vegetables than we have.
The next one is a yellow squash.
Nice. Okay. This kind of looks like a pepper, right? Peppers have actual bit of green there. Perfect. I was hoping it would wrap around like that. Yellow squash. Oh boy. Well,
It's
It's just
all
a
squash
big circle
like
at the bottom,
board.
and then it comes up to like a crook.
yeah, that's right. Which side is the crook on? Is that sort of?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with this. Let's add some shading. And I think we could do. Yeah.
They have stripes.
I think we're pretty good now. You could use the tan. The tan might be good.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, except that our background color was going to be tan.
But if you keep it on the interior.
Oh, for like stripes?
Mhm.
Sure. I cannot picture a squash to save my life right now.
It's like a pumpkin. A pumpkin is a kind of squash.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. It's not this accented, right?
In a little bit.
Is yellow zucchini squash?
A
What is yellow
zucchini is a type of squash, I believe.
Oh, learning so much.
Okay, we'll call that a vegetable.
Yes, zucchini is a summer squash.
I think we've used most of our palette. We haven't used purple at all. Let's do one more purple. So I can think of eggplant. Is there anything else?
Eggplant's my favorite. But Shannon doesn't like eggplant.
Yeah, Shannon hates eggplants.
They just have a weird texture. They're just, I don't know.
They just
haven't
want to
been
help
having
slide
properly
into your
prepared
stomach.
Eggplants. Like it gets slimy if they do it wrong.
Yeah, that's sort of eggplantish, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's totally an eggplant.
Okay,
A good
sweet.
array.
We got veggies.
Mhm.
So we know you're going to want 50 of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a tile map. And right now, I'm not really going to care too much about it. Maybe I'll make it like 32 by 32. I'm not going to fill anything in here, except I'm going to loop 50 times. I always forget, is this inclusive?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is 51, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this will be exclusive. So what I was asking is index count up to and including this last number or not? And so that's inclusive versus exclusive, and it is inclusive. So anyway,
I have an idea for the tile map.
Yeah.
So what we could do is, so you know how we have the tan for the background, but we do brown patches, which will be the round, like that's tilled, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if we do 2 5x5 squares, we'll have 50. So if we do like a 5x5 square and a 5x5 square with like some patch in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're thinking just brown like this, and maybe some rows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I gotta make them look a little bit more organic though. Maybe the rows kind of zigzag a little bit.
And I think maybe we shouldn't see the vegetable right away. It should be like a little green, like sprout.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah. Okay.
That's
awesome.
perfect, Daryl.
Thanks. Okay, so 5x5 patch. Let's see. Wait, 5x5 patch. And if we do, okay, I'm gonna just do it like this. So 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. And I'm gonna leave a space of 2 between each of them. Oops. One, two, three.
It's one too many.
Yeah, that one's one too many. Shoot. I don't know why the drag sometimes on my mouse doesn't include. Yeah, there. So we want. Oh, wait. So 5x5 is 25. So we only want 4 of these. Okay. So let's set the height to 7. So it's going to be sort of a long. Oh, actually, let's move these. Let's make it square. These will come down here. And so that's a height of 10 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, so 16 by 16, the original size. All right, got our rows. Excellent. So actually, instead of this looping over the
Well, you just made 100, I think.
Oh, you're
Did
right.
I do that math wrong?
Yeah, it looks really good as a square though. I don't know what to.
I mean, we could do it. I think we can do 50 and just like leave it as this, but just spawn 50
Yeah.
between all of them.
Yes. Totally. Okay, so 0.49, and what I'm going to do is create a vegetable. So this is going to be a sprite. So I'm going to make a new variable, vegetable, veggie, new kind, veggie, and
just real quick, it's an E in there instead of an I, and only one G.
We're watching language evolve here. I like it.
Okay, so the image is, we're gonna have to do one of these things where we grab a random thing from the array, which is always kind of annoying because so I have to say get, and then I need to say length, and then I need to say math, pick random, and I know I'm gonna need a minus. So I'll stitch all this together and explain what's happening. So from the veggies list, we need to get a value that's going to be at a random location between 0 and the end of the array, or the length of the array minus 1. We really need a block for that. Okay, so this gets a random.
You say that every time, and then every time I explain that we used to have a block for that, and then I had to remove it because it caused bugs.
Yeah, I hear you, but we've done this in so many streams.
Oh no, absolutely. Like, we need a better way to do this, but
yes. Okay, great. So we've now created just a pile of veggies there. And let's distribute them through our garden. Also, I think we're gonna want to do something with this potato because.
well, so I think what Shannon was suggesting was that instead of having the vegetable sprite, maybe it's just like a tiny sprout on all of them, and then when you overlap with it, it becomes a veggie that follows you around.
Yeah, right. But okay, yeah, let's do that. I think it'll still be sort of hard to see, once you pick it up, what you picked up. Okay, so now we've created the sprite. Let's place it on our tile map. So this is a perfect time to use the place on top vegetable on top of random tilled area. And great. So, ooh, interesting. So this is going to have the issue that certain tiles are likely to have several vegetables on them. So
I've got a fix for this here. So if you get the array of all the locations, and then you do the pick random that you just did.
Mm-hmm. But the array of all locations, won't that be ordered pretty, like, it'll just fill out like one whole plot or
yeah, so you just pick random from it, just like you did for the veggie images.
And remove from the array.
Yep. Oh, and remove from the array. Can we remove that location?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's remove at.
Remove.
Oh, okay. Yes, let's do that. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna available tilled ground. Did I spell tilled right? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
So tilled ground is going to be an array of all the tilled ground locations. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to adjust this loop so that we loop over, oh no, we still want to do 0 to 50. And we're going to make a random new thing here. So I'm going to say, ground index. So what I've done is, let's see, available tilled ground. So we're picking a random number between 0 and the last index in this list. And we're going to place our sprite there, but also remove it from this list. So the location is going to be, if we just take from the available tilled ground and we use this ground index. So now what should happen is,
I think you want the
need to switch.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Instead of place on top of random, there's one that's place at like location.
Oh, right. Yes. Place at location. So we're going to place the vegetable at this location. And then, great. So that looks pretty good. But we need to remove from this list to make sure we don't get duplicates. So we're going to do that by saying, where is it? Again, remove first value, last value at here. So this one's kind of funny because it's a round block that expects to be dropped into something. But in this case, we don't care about the value that we're going to remove. So I'm just going to...
You can actually just replace your get value at with that.
Oh, you're totally right. Right. So this is going to do two things for us. So it's going to get the value at the ground index and place our vegetable on top of that, but it's also going to remove it from the list so that we never place on top of that location again. So basically what all of this does is make sure that half of the ground tiles we fill with vegetables, and we never place a vegetable on the same one twice. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to do the camera follow thing so that I can kind of move Jiji around. Follow Jiji. And this looks pretty good. So now I want to do Shannon's suggestion, which is instead of just placing the vegetables directly, we should just do a little green like indicator. So actually what I'm going to do is instead of creating the vegetable here, I'm going to save these blocks because I know I'm going to want them. I'm just going to create a different indicator that is going to be, let's call this a sprout. And this is going to be pretty small, like let's say 5 by 5, 4 by 4. Whoop, 4 by 4. And this is just going to be a little bit of green, sort of indicate that there is something growing here. And this is going to be of kind, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to say food. I'll make it a kind sprout. Wait, why did it let me do that?
It lets you do it if you name the variable first.
Okay.
But
it's only an error if you do it in the other direction.
yeah.
Wonder if we should fix that. Anyway, so I'm going to place the sprout on top of the random location. So now I have all these locations that have sprouts.
Oh, man.
And I want to create the vegetables. So I'm going to go to sprites category, scroll down until I see the on overlap. And then I'm going to say when the player overlaps a sprout, we're going to run this bit of code. So what's going to oh boy, what's going to happen is we're going to create event random vegetable, and we're going to set it. We created a vegetable. And what I want to do is I'm going to destroy the sprout. And then let's see. So destroy the sprout, and I'm going to place. I'm going to set the vegetable right on top of where the sprout was. So the X to the location of the sprout, and likewise for the Y and the Y. All right. So now when we overlap, we're just revealing a bunch of vegetables, which is kind of fun already. So one small thing that I kind of want to do is just change the Z index of my cat, because I want Jiji to be on top of all of the vegetables. So Z index controls how far away something is from the camera, sort of. So a higher number will be above other things. So now the cat is always on top of the vegetables. Okay, great. So we're creating vegetables, and now I want this sort of trail of vegetables to follow Jiji around. So the simplest thing is if I say, search for follow, we have these set my sprite follow another sprite, and I can say set the vegetable to follow Jiji. And I can set a speed. I'm probably going to set this pretty slow. And now we've got, okay, I guess it should probably be the speed of Jiji, which is by default 100. So yeah, maybe I'll change this back to 100. So got some vegetables following Jiji around, but I kind of, one thing I don't like about this effect is you can't really see how many there are, and as you get more and more of them, it's just a blob, and at a certain point, it doesn't really start. You don't get the sense that you've collected a lot of vegetables. So I'm going to try something a little bit tricky, which is that I'm going to have each vegetable follow the last vegetable, and I want to maintain a little bit of distance between them. And this is going to be interesting.
Real quick to inform your decision, Daryl. Just so you know, there is in the sprite data extension, Peli recently added the ability to add a sprite as data. So you can have the sprite point to the one that it should be following, which might make this here.
Great idea. Okay, awesome. Okay, good to know. So before I try that, I'm going to do something a little simpler, and let's see how this works. So I'm going to say, you know, to follow is going to be a sprite, and it's going to start as Jiji. And here we're going to follow the thing that we need to follow. So, and then we're going to change what to follow. So the first vegetable is going to follow Jiji because to follow starts as Jiji. And the subsequent vegetables will follow the last vegetable that was created. So I think what's going to happen is that we definitely get a little bit of a trail now. And if I stay still, they're all going to catch up to me. But when I start going, the trail comes back. So actually, I think this is kind of nice. What do you guys think?
So I think what you should do is you should do have an on-game update and have if Gigi's velocity is 0, then
stop falling.
Set and that way
so then the train never collapses.
Yeah, it will stay spread out.
But okay. I'll need the sprite data for that because I'll need to be able to have everything stop and start. This is kind of fun. All right, let's do that. Actually, it kind of, you know, this isn't too bad. Maybe I'll revisit the following later on in the stream.
Sure.
But for now, I feel like this is actually kind of nice. So I feel like we could build out the next piece of gameplay that we want. Okay, so thinking about that a little bit, now that we've got this, you know, giant trail of vegetables, can anyone think of what we do with them?
Do we want to like put them into the, like, are we going to do an enemy who's going to eat the vegetables and we want to put the vegetables in a safe place? Keep it away from the enemy?
Could do that.
You could have 50 hungry patrons waiting for the 50 vegetables.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you could have a bunch of patrons waiting, and each of them wants a different vegetable, maybe. And you have to, you know, match them up with the appropriate one or something. And we could also have some sort of like stew, you know, that you're doing.
Yeah, it could be like what Vivian said. So if we had rabbits coming in from the left and the right, and every time one of them hits a vegetable, so hits your trail, that vegetable will get destroyed. And you're just trying to get the vegetables down to this cauldron or whatever.
Yeah. So then it's so you could get vegetables faster if you make a trail of them, but then they're more vulnerable because it's a bigger target for the rabbits to hit.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that concerns me about that is that I really like this behavior of having a giant tail.
Yeah, that would discourage that. Yeah,
that would discourage it. So
I mean, so we can do the rabbits before. Like the rabbits come up to the sprouts, and then so this is like in the library, right, where they hang out for a little bit by the sprout, and you have to like chase them away before they pull up here.
Yeah.
So it's like a balance between collecting and then also like defending. Sorry,
maybe the rabbits. Well, I was gonna say maybe they attack the sprouts, not the vegetables. So you actually want to collect everything in as big a trail as you can as fast as possible to avoid the rabbits, you know, eating all the sprouts.
I think that's what Shannon said.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry. I thought you were saying wait until they eat the veggies. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. So I'm thinking that sprouts should come in over time. So let's do an on-game update. Let's say every second we're going to create a sprout, and we're going to have a counter that is, the number to create. Left, and let's set number of sprouts left to 50, and then we're going to say if the number of sprouts is greater than 0, and we're going to create one, and then we're going to change number of sprouts left by -1. Okay, so now we can see them sprouting up around the garden. And awesome. So they're coming in over time, and this should just work. We'll get a total of 50. Now let's have some rabbits appear. So also at some interval, maybe 2 seconds, let's create a rabbit. So I'm going to say, call this rabbit. And
go ahead. I was just thinking, so instead of doing our normal thing of just spawning a bunch of rabbits, what if you had a single rival rabbit who, when a sprout was created, it would just start following that sprite?
Yeah.
But it would move slower than Jiji. Would that be good?
So when there's a new sprout, would it change course, or would it always just go to the one that it was going to go to? Yeah. Okay. I'll think about it. I like the idea though. Let's have a single rival. So first I'm going to draw this rabbit. Let's see. Oh, I was good at drawing rabbits at one point. Shannon and I did this how to make a bunny hop game.
Oh yeah.
And let's see. You definitely need a little bit of pink in the ears, and some eyes. Like that. And I wish I could convey the teeth somehow. I think this rabbit will be sort of standing.
That scares me. It's a good enemy. Oh my goodness. On, sweetie, your veggies.
I kind of like it. What do you guys think?
I like it a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little weird that it's anthropomorphized and the cat is not.
Oh, it's perfect. That's why it's
All right, so we're going to have a perpetual rabbit enemy. It's really a rival, Who's to say who's really in the right here? Okay, so I'm going to, let's see.
Oh, if it's a rival, should it also have a trail of vegetables?
Ooh, yes, absolutely. Okay, actually, that's great. So I think what I'll do, so let me think about this. So I think we want to place the rival at kind of the end of the screen to start. So you sort of opposite corner. So, whoops, not that one. I'm going to say place rabbit on top of 15, which should be the last one, kind of in the seam. And the rabbit's going to move slower. So I think the rabbit will, I'm going to create a rabbit target. So I'm going to say rabbit target. And that rabbit target is just going to start off as Jiji, although I don't think the rabbit will ever really reach Jiji. So Let's see. Let me think about this. So, okay. So I'm going to have actually the follow doesn't really matter here. Okay. So when we create a sprout, when a sprout is created,
so you could do a function that's like set rabbit target. And that function checks if the type of the current rabbit target is a sprout and not yet a vegetable. And if the type is still a sprout, then it can keep going for that one. But if it's been changed to a vegetable, so if Jiji got there first, then you have to reset it. And you can reset it when you create sprouts.
You can just reset it by randomly picking a sprite-applying sprout. And if there is no rabbit target, then you'll just set the next created sprout.
Right. I actually wish I had a way to break out of loops. So, okay, so set rabbit target.
We do in beta.
We do. So I don't think, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll leave this here. So I'm going to say in the array category, I have this array of all kinds of sprouts. And I'm going to say if the length of this is greater than 0, so we know there are sprouts, then we want to grab a random one. So I'm going to copy paste this code to grab a random element from a list. And I'm going to say set the rabbit target to, and I have to duplicate this a couple times. Oh, this is going to get long.
Yeah, you should probably break that out into a variable.
A variable, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to make a new variable called sprouts, and I'm going to set sprouts to this list, and then I'm going to grab this and drop it in here. So it's synonymous with this array of all kinds. Okay, a lot of junk blocks back there. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so rabbit target to a random sprout, and then I'm going to say follow. Not sure I need the target. Okay, so where's rabbit? Rabbit, follow, rabbit target, and slower, like half speed or something. Great. So now let's see. So every time we create a sprout, we're going to call this function. And we're also going to call it again once the rabbit gets to its target. Or if, right, so I think you guys mentioned this. We need another, it's very confused. We get another and here, which is that the current rabbit target is not of kind sprout. So let's see.
It's near the bottom. I think.
Can we do kind checks?
There it is. Yeah. Yeah, you can. It's a number.
Ah, sweet. Okay.
So I was thinking about this a little bit. So the sprout is going to get destroyed sometimes. And in those cases, I need to update the target. And that should work.
You can just do an equals. So what I would do is just say if the sprout equals, just whenever a sprout is destroyed, say if sprout equals rabbit target, set rabbit target.
Oh, sprout not equals rabbit target.
No, if it does equal it.
The kind?
So if whenever there's an overlap with a sprout, if the sprout equals the rabbit target, then we call set rabbit target.
Yeah. Right? Oh, you're saying the players overlap.
Yeah, but we're also going to have another overlap thing for the rabbit one, so also in the rabbits.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So, and I think I need this kind check here as well, because.
I mean, you can do the kind check, but then you're going to have to go to the overlap code and change the kind of the sprout to like found sprout, because we destroy it. We're not changing it to be the same sprite. So there's two things you could do. You could either make it so that we don't create a separate vegetable sprite when we create the sprout, and instead just set the sprout's image and set the sprout's kind to be veggie, or you can change the kind of the sprout once it's overlapped.
Yeah. Okay, I like the idea of changing kind. So I'm going to say I'm going to need this and here. So if the kind of the rabbit target is not equal to no, not that one.
Bottom.
This one. Not equal to sprout, then we want to do this. So if the rabbit is currently not following a sprout, then we want it to follow sprout. That makes sense to me. Okay, great. And then once the player overlaps with a sprout, what we want to do is, instead of creating and conveniently, I won't need this set X and set Y or destroy. This simplifies a number of things. We're going to change the kind of the sprout. So the other sprout, change kind to veggie, and the other sprout needs to follow. And lastly, we need to set the image of the other sprout to veggie image, and to follow is now veggie. So let me think about that. I think that all makes sense. So yes, change this sprout's kind, tell it to follow whoever it needs to follow with the image, and update who to follow. Great. Don't need any of this. So now let's see. So we've got going there, and if we steal his sprout, then he goes elsewhere. Well, I guess he went elsewhere because of a spawn, not because we called that function. But we should call this function.
He went elsewhere because you picked it up. Oh yeah, I guess he'll only change things when a new sprout is created. You're right.
Right. Yeah. So we can basically call this as much as we want, because the guards in here are good, I think. Okay. So so there he is, and now if I grab it, he instantly goes for another one. Awesome. Okay, and so let's see. So this I'm going to rename to Jiji train. So, or caboose. Now we want similar logic to when the bunny hits a sprout. So when an enemy, which is going to be our rabbit, hits a sprout, then we create a vegetable and we tell it to follow. So I'm going to create a new variable here. Instead of Jiji train, we're going to create rabbit train and set this to the rabbit. And
real quick, you need to move it below where you're creating the rabbit.
Yes, thank you. Let's move rabbit train down here. So this other vegetable is going to follow the rabbit train, not the Jiji train, and then we update the rabbit train to this new sprite, and we set a new target. So now, look at that rabbit go.
I think the rabbit train should also be slower.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So whatever you set the rabbit speed to.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I think 50. I think I did half. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, that looks nice and smooth now. And we also gain some benefit here as a player because the rabbit is just doing a random, choosing instead of sort of what a player would do, which is a little bit more orderly.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like it. So we have rival trains now. So actually, I think what we could do is that once all the sprouts are up, we just compare who has the longest train or something. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so I think it's either that or it's first 250 instead of.
Oh, yeah. I like that because then it's one of you is going to end up with an enormous train, and that's kind of exciting. Let's do that. Okay.
This will definitely crash on hardware, though. Just.
Oh, will it?
I don't know. We should try it out.
Yeah. Okay, so in that case, I'm not going to have any sort of limit on the number of sprites left. We are just going to be, let's see, I do need a guard, which is that it's not going to be a number of sprites left, but it has to be this length of the available tilled ground. Whoa, actually, available tilled ground. Yeah, this has to be greater than 0. So, ooh, this is interesting. So as soon as
no, it doesn't. It doesn't actually, because it'll get filled up and it'll be 100. And there might be a case. I guess you're right. It does need to have that check, but that's it. So the max that'll spawn will be 100, which would be 50 for both, and that'll always be okay because it's first to 50.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. So this will be fine. We'll leave it at this. We could get it so that the same tiles can get sprouts multiple times, but that would be a little bit trickier. I'd have to start refilling this array, which I don't really want to do.
I mean, I think it's better to have it as the separate ones. I think that's kind of cooler behavior because you planted them all. It's like it shouldn't be a carrot spawns here and then a bell pepper spawns.
Yeah.
It sort of ensures that you have like a spread across the map too. You're not going to be able to hang out in one quadrant and.
Right. Yes. Man, yeah, this rabbit's pretty good at gardening, I gotta say. Okay, so let's see. How do we count our trail length? So I think what we can do is, in our case,
Ooh, you can use. So there's info. There's player 2.
Yeah.
If you scroll down.
Oh, yes. Okay, awesome. So when the I totally didn't notice these. Player 2, when they get a sprout, we change their score by 1. So let's wait for that to happen. Okay, player 2 got a point, and when we hit a sprout, we also get a score by 1. And now let's see how this works. So I got 1, they got 1, I got some. Nice, I love it. This is actually the first time I think we've used the different scores on the stream, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
How many different scores are there? 4.
There's 4.
Wow.
This array is.
They go in the
drop down is interestingly ordered.
Oh, 2, 3, yeah, huh?
Because we wanted player 2 to be the default, and the way MakeCode's written, that's the first one in the list.
Gotcha. All right, so now we've got that. Now we need to check our win condition. And there's a few ways, so I could put that code in here, but I'm just going to do this instead, which is that if and I'm going to give the rabbit the first chance at winning. So if the rabbit's score is greater than or equal to 50, then the rabbit wins, which means you lose. Otherwise, not otherwise you win. If your score is greater than or equal to 50, you win. All right, let's race. Let's go full screen. Okay, get some veggies. Veggies. A lot of them have that one.
Go, Daryl, go.
I'm rooting for the rabbit.
I'm also rooting for the rabbit.
The cat.
The rabbit only has 2 legs. We have 4.
The rabbit is an underdog because the cat moves so much faster.
Yeah, so because the rabbit is moving randomly, I feel like the rabbit should actually go faster than us. Right? If we want it to be an actual competition, because I can do a smarter.
It'll definitely make the
traversal.
game harder.
Yeah. So let's just check the end condition. Actually, that's gonna take a while. I'm gonna try going really, as well as I can, and we'll see how badly I beat this rabbit. So one thing is I can just stay in front of the rabbit. That's a pretty valid strategy. I can actually use him to indicate where vegetables are, because based on where he's moving.
Oh.
Oh, this is very mean.
Guys, we're on a really good run of games. We really need to do like that best of post on the forum.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess we're out of time. So
shoot,
yeah,
we need a name.
Actually, really quickly, I'm gonna set the rabbit to be faster because I think that is gonna be more fair. Where do I set the rabbit speed? Rabbit speed here. I think this
rabbit
will actually
Oh.
destroy you now.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's rough. Okay, he's just a little bit faster. I think he might still destroy me. But anyway, we need a name. So while I try and beat this rabbit, you guys have to think of a name.
I think train should be involved in the title.
Okay, yes.
Veggie train.
Veggie train. Or something with the rival.
The same speed as us, it would be
So hard.
it's faster than the spawn, so then it's always first to each vegetable.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe a little bit slower than the player because he just knows instantly where to spawn, and that's kind of unfair. Or if veggies spawned faster, I think it would be a little bit more fair. This is kind of nice because I can kind of outrun him, but he does more efficient straight lines than me.
Yeah, I think this is pretty balanced.
Well balanced, yeah.
Yeah.
You're slightly losing to this rabbit. Oh.
Shoot. Oh, I missed it. Oh no.
So real quick, just I know we're out of time, but I mean there's no one streaming after us, so we can go a little later. Can you make it so that all the vegetables are ghosts? Because that will speed up the program.
Ooh, yes. Let's definitely do that. So I need to do this in these collision locations. So let's set this property on the other sprite, which is that it is a ghost on. So like Richard was saying, this will speed up the game. This is really important to do for anything that you can do, really, especially if you're going to have a lot of them. What it says is don't check collision for this. So we never check for overlaps with veggies, and so it's always safe to turn on ghost. So yeah, it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, and in this case, it wouldn't actually run collision code because there is nothing colliding with the vegetables, but this will make it so it also doesn't check the tile map. So it is still a bit more efficient.
Right, yeah. I think if the veggies spawn faster, I have a better time. Anyway, we're out of time. Names, maybe,
the grain train. It's not actually grains, but it was the only thing I could come up with.
Or how to train your rabbit.
I love that actually because there's a train. How not to train your rabbit. I don't know.
But train should be in all caps.
So what do we call this? 50th stream. How not to train your rabbit. Like that? Or what did you say? It should be all caps?
The train part. So that people get that it's like train, but also train.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Oh no.
You got destroyed for the rabbit again.
All right. I really like this game. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll post it on the forum. If you haven't seen the forum yet, check it out at there's a link somewhere. I think is it down this way? No, it's over that way. On the other side of Shannon. I'm Daryl at Tarzu on the forum.
I'm Richard at Richard on the forum.
I'm Shannon at Shakao on the forum.
And I'm Vivian at Love Cheerful on the forum.
Awesome. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to be having another game stream.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Bye.